Well, we got Tesla earnings yesterday and the market loved it. If you haven't watched my Tesla stock price prediction and earnings projection video, you can still go ahead and watch that. There's still lots of valuable information in there. I'm going to provide an update on that in the very near future. I went through the earnings call transcript, and there is a lot to unpack there. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot to be excited about, and you can even see it with the way the market is moving. So this morning's market bounce brought to you, in my opinion, by Tesla. So if you're enjoying the market being a little bit green in the pre-market this morning, just send a quick email over to Elon and maybe tweet at him or X at him. I don't know what you call it now. Thanking him for the quarter and the earnings announcement. I think that we got a lot of excitement through that, but there are some details to pick through to really find out what exactly there is to be excited about. So for right now, we're going to go through the markets, SPY, QQQ, IWM, those ETFs tracking the major indices. Give a recap on Nvidia. We'll talk about Tesla most definitely from a technical analysis perspective. And then Bitcoin, of course, we'll give an update there as well. And like I said, make sure you subscribe to this channel so that we can get access to that Tesla earnings video as soon as it comes out, where I'll give an updated view of the actual earnings numbers and talk about looking at the earnings projections going forward into Q4 from where we're at right now. That's also going to be something very worthwhile that I'm going to continue to report on. I think it's important that we look forward from here and see just exactly where Tesla's stock price can go. And you guys, you can see my technicals before they hit YouTube by using the link down in the description for the Patreon. Click on that, sign up, head on over to the Discord. All starts with using that link in the description. And then also you can see my buys and sells over there as well. And if you guys want to learn about this technical analysis, I will tell you later about the Stockmo Academy link that's down there and the coupon code DOCTOR that will get a massive discount. That said, here are the technicals for SPY. Now, this is the rising wedge pattern I was talking about. And you can see yesterday, it looks like we dipped down below that. But there's a very important thing about where we bottomed out. Actually, two very important things about where we bottomed out. Number one, with the Bollinger Bands, I talked yesterday or the day before about the 20-period moving average and how important that was for a bounce. So from a technical perspective, we have some of the bounce coming in. We do want to get back up above the 581, though, to get back on top the 5-period exponential moving average. And we definitely want to get back inside that rising wedge. Now, and the second thing that's really important about where we bottomed out yesterday is, let me find out, there's where I want that. If we move that over to the bottom of this, that actually is our third touch. 1, 2, 3 touches off the very bottoms of regular trading hours for SPY. Let me actually take down the drawings, and I want to show you these low prices so that you can see them. There we go. So down here's the first touch on that trend line, the second touch on that trend line, and there's the third one. So that sets us up for the next critical line to watch out for dropping down through that. So if we get a momentum drop, if we don't get back up on top those moving averages that are in yellow and green that you see in here, if we end up tumbling down through and get those EMAs to cross each other, this is a 20-period simple moving average that's right down along here. We cross over that, get down below it, and treat it as resistance. That's when we know that a further sell is coming our way. For right now, I said that things are looking bullish. We get rapid drawdowns followed by even bigger rises more often than not. But we are still in that rising wedge pattern, and that's significant to watch for because I said we could continue that upward trajectory for a little while, but we don't quite have the signs yet that we're going to continue to fall. The momentum doesn't even say so, but there is some bearish divergence to watch out for on the weekly and monthly charts, and that is concerning for longer term trends should we start a downward cycle. So let's move over into the Qs, and you can see I have 3 different trend lines on here. Still a rising wedge pattern. Where did we go yesterday? Well, we actually didn't get down low enough. We caught support right around 486.56. We actually went down through this little support area that I have in here. You might be able to see, let me see if I can expand that for you, just a little peekaboo of that candle right there down through it and then ripped back up. We are down below the 5 EMA and 13 EMA, but this morning in the pre-market, if we open up here, we could be back up on top those moving averages, and we want to really ride on top the 5-period. That's going to be a bullish signal for us looking at the Nasdaq 100 ETF QQQ that we're looking at right now. So it is highly important that we watch for those values to come in to see a bullish direction continue. Same rising wedge pattern that we had for SPY. If we fall down through the support lines that we have here from from the trend lines, from the movement of the stock, which are from the ETF, that's something that we could most definitely watch out for that bearish reversal. The RSI that we're looking at down towards 50, but not crossing down over 50 into bearish territory. So over to IWM, what does that look like? We actually bounced off the 50 EMA and SMA. We are down below the 5 and the 13. Good. It could signal further bearishness. Now, mind you, you see that we fell down below that signal right there. It was almost time. The RSI is still above 50. Yeah, we're dangling off the moving averages. So you could have put in a short position there, but then look what happened next. One thing that kept me from shorting IWM is the fact that we're so darn close to the 50 EMA and SMA, and it's a good thing I didn't, because getting down to crossover, that would be the signal that we would get. So yesterday, even though we dipped a little bit below 50 with the RSI, the momentum on the daily chart saying, you know, look, seeing some price weakness right now, we're still overall in a long-term bullish trend for IWM, for the Russell 2000 stocks. And once again, Tesla also, in my opinion, helping these out as well. So moving over to Nvidia. Nvidia, we actually have a very near-term rising wedge pattern on here to watch out for, and we're getting a nice little bounce off the bottom of this. We could continue up for a little while. Looks like mid-November is where this thing peaks out if we're going to stay in it. If it really does continue the way that it has, we have 3 touches across the top, 3 across the bottom. And like I said, this is on the daily chart, but it still is a very near-term trend. It doesn't mean that Nvidia goes bearish. It is just something that means that we could see a little bit of price softening come in if we fall down below this bottom trend line. We are up in an area of significant resistance that I've talked about before. We've got to get on top of that for a free rise area up to 150. Maybe we get that run up to earnings that come up for Nvidia. I believe it's November the 20th. There you go. It's Wednesday, November the 20th in the after hours. That's what we're looking for. So we could see some profit taking prior to that. If we continue that climb, we could watch for people de-risking their portfolios, especially with high exposure to Nvidia after the climb that is taken, putting in new all-time highs. Now, Tesla, the show stealer, look at this. In the after hours yesterday and into the pre-market today, we are getting up into significant resistance that we found before. We were able to peekaboo up above it, get up into that free rise area. We hit the next price target that I had up there, about 263, and then it tumbled back down, leading up into earnings. Earnings putting us right back about in the middle of all that. We got to make it up through this. This lasts all the way up until the low 250s for that area of resistance that's up above. We could definitely get there if the markets can continue their strength. If they sell off instead, then we could watch for Tesla's price to pull back with those markets. Now, mind you, some things that Elon said about that is that we're looking for continued lower interest rates, and we want to see continued economic strength. And the entire auto industry is being affected right now by the macro conditions that we have. So if the Fed continues to cut rates, and if we continue into Goldilocks scenario, that confirms what we've been talking about, to see that continued price action moving up for Tesla's stock price, because we could have further demand for the EVs. And we really want to get back to a place where, from a stock standpoint, mind you, not from a buying Tesla standpoint, but from moving away from that 0% incentive to the point where they can actually charge those interest rates with their financing, because right now it does affect their bottom line. Yeah, they're selling more Teslas, but they're getting a compressed margin on the EVs that they sell because of the 0% incentive that they're putting out there. Now, mind you, I think that's a long-term win, because it gets more people in their vehicles, more miles driven, more training for the full self-driving. It can give us the robo-taxi sooner. But like I said, I'll save a lot of that for the Tesla earnings full breakdown that I have coming for you. Hopefully it's my next video. I should have it all ready and all together. I've already gone through all the way through the earnings call. There's a lot to be excited about. There's a few things that I wonder about that I think that we can get answered, or I hope that we get answers to in the next quarter. So like I said, I'll share that with you guys. By the way, before we get back to the charts, check out, like I said, down in the description, link for the Patreon. Hop on over to the Discord. Once you sign up for that, see those buys and sells, see the technicals that we have for this, talk to me and my community members over there. And I have lots of products and services on the way that are going to really help flesh out that Discord even further to increase the value to the people who are already parts of the community, members of the community, and then for any future members of the community as well. I'm very excited about it, and I can't wait to officially announce them here on YouTube. And for Tesla, my goodness, I'm stuck on Tesla. For Stockmo Academy, for technical, there it is, analysis. If you want to learn how to do technical analysis yourself, produce these technicals yourself, there's a link down in the description for Stockmo Academy. It is designed by professional educator Stockmo himself, and Mrs. Mo herself, both of which have more years in education than I do. I have 17 years in and my doctorate in education. I'm a mathematics teacher by profession, and finance is my passion. So here I'm on YouTube talking about that, having used my educational skills to inform myself in a lot of this. And I can personally vet the technicals that you get in that one, and also the trading strategy, which is probably the biggest value add that I've ever seen to anything StockMo offers, which is a direct value add to the consumers, to the people who happen to sign up for that course, who become community members of that learning community, because it tells you exactly how to set up the bread recipe strategy for trading, whether it's up or down in the markets. You can set up either way. It tells you exactly how to do it. Just a few indicators, walks you through the entire process. There's testimonials out there for just how well it works. I use it myself. StockMo uses it himself, and you can see the influence in my videos once you know to look for him. You're like, oh my gosh, Dr. Stock is talking about the bread recipe. If you watch StockMo, which you should, because he gives a lot, not only of quality technical information, but he is top notch and I would say unmatched when it comes to talking about fundamentals and the long view of the markets, and how finances are going to be impacted, which areas of the market to watch out for. So that link down in the description for StockMo Academy, click on it, use code word doctor when you sign up, and it will really add value to your trading game. So guys, back over to the charts. Let's close things up with Bitcoin here. So for Bitcoin, what are we looking at? Boom, there we go. Reset the view. Yeah, it's a little bit messy, but still, look at this line that we have right in here for support. Yesterday pushed way down below it, way down below the 5 and the 13, and now we're kind of stuck in between for today's trading, deciding what exactly should happen with Bitcoin's price action. The line in the sand, my friends, that I keep talking about and I keep on saying it, 69,711, I had put out before we had this candle right here that we didn't quite get there. We fell short of it. And what happened when we fell short of it? We tumbled right back down through resistance, confirming that resistance with that rejection. And we also have this longer term trend line that's along here as well that we were able to peekaboo over, and just off the previous peaks couldn't quite hold it. If we can get on top of that trend line, hold it as support. On top of this resistance, hold it as support. And most importantly, for right now, for the near term, getting on top of 69,711, that is the number that we're looking for that gives us that pathway to 84.5 for Bitcoin. So $84,500 per BTC. I think over the next 12 months, I think it's highly reasonable that we see that come out. And I have that stripped down view for you over here, where you can see that on the charts without so much of the noise that's on there with the other near-term prices that we have for support and resistance. So guys, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, I believe that you should. And don't just take my word for it. If you found value in this and you want to see continued value, then go ahead and consider clicking that button. If you don't see that value, thank you very much for watching. If you also want to see my technicals before they hit YouTube, and if you want to see what I'm buying and selling to profit in these markets, and if you want to be members of a growing community, there's that link down in the description for the Patreon. Click on it, go ahead and sign up. And if you want to learn about doing this technical analysis, learn a top-notch trading strategy, use the link down in the description for StockMo Academy. Use the code word doctor when you sign up. It's going to save you a ton of cash on signing up for that. The bread recipe can cover the cost of the course in as little as a single trade. There's no such thing as winner every time, but I'll tell you what, this thing has seriously, the bread recipe has seriously improved my trading game since I started using it, and I'm not going to turn back from it, and I have yet to find anything better. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning. We'll see you next video.